Hello, and welcome back to the place where you will learn how to achieve success in business and in life through personal development. My name is Angela, and I am a personal development specialist, success coach, and motivational speaker. And at my company, FutureLink Collaborative, together we are building a community of success stories. So if that is you, come hang out with us for a little while and get to know us, and hopefully you can become part of that community. And it is growing by the numbers every day. So many of us have gotten to the place in life where we realize that we are destined for more, and we feel like we're living below our potential. And sometimes all we need is just that helping hand or someone that understands the journey from where we are, whether it be mediocrity or whether it be complacency, to the place where we succeed and we excel in life. So today I want to talk about what are those things, or what is the thing that is holding you back from leveling up to your highest potential. Do you feel like you're destined for more than what you're currently experiencing? Do you have a desire to make more money, possibly promote to a higher position in your company, or branching out, looking for or accepting a new job? Or do you have a desire to release your natural leadership ability? And if that's the case, then let's move forward and let's start identifying some of those barriers to success, and also identify some strategies to overcome them. And I think one of the areas that most people struggle in, and even myself, I've had to come through a lot internally and a lot of inner healing to get to the place where I can present myself to you today. I couldn't even, let's say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I could not have imagined that I would have started a company and to create the Personal Development Academy, where I can help other people along their journey the way that people have helped me over the years. I'm a firm believer in paying it forward. And so if I can help another person tap into their genius and release their greatness into the world, then everything I've been through, every struggle that I've been through was worth it. And so, like I said in the last episode where we were talking with Aaron Pratt and how he overcame self-sabotage, as a result of a trauma history. We each have a story, and our stories are valuable. So to get back onto what we were talking about today, one of the areas I think most people tend to struggle in is that of time management. So one way to overcome barriers to success and to identify the things that may be holding us back, let's start by planning your day. Excellent time management skills is a key to success. And we've all heard the saying that time is money, and I think we know that to be true. So let's be intentional about how you spend your time. Ask yourself the question, is what you're doing giving you a return on that investment? And if your answer is no, then it's time to reevaluate your priorities. Have you even generated a list of priorities? Have you set goals for yourself? Do you even know what your mission is? Have you written that personal mission statement? So these are things that we have to consider. When we say, yes, I want to rise up, I want to level up, I want to be that success story, I want to be a part of this community, then these are some of the things we need to take serious, because this is the foundation on which everything we build will rest on. I think the next thing we need to do is be intentional about spending time in introspection. For myself, I tend to do it at the end of the day as I'm laying down to go to sleep and I'm unwinding. I'm looking back over the day. What Could I have done better? What did I do great? Is there anything that I need to change? Is there someone that I need to reach out to? And at the end of these conversations that we have with ourselves, you can have these conversations verbally, you can have them in your mind, but for me, it's been most helpful to journal. It's something about getting the thoughts out of my head to where I can take a look at them on paper, and I'm kind of removed from the emotional connection to the thoughts. I can take an objective look and I can see, what's going to serve my purpose or what's going to become a barrier. And I can identify my self-limiting beliefs and any cognitive distortions. And those cognitive distortions are those things, sometimes in certain circles, they might refer to them as stinking thinking. But it might be those things that may not be serving us well. Some things like mind reading or disqualifying the positive. It's so easy to focus on areas where, we're lacking or we may be struggling or the mistakes that we've made. Those things, they scream so loud. But we do have areas where we do well, where we're exceeding, and we tend to downplay those. And that goes further into the psychological aspect of our being. And in future episodes, we'll discuss that in more detail. So some of those self-limiting beliefs we could address would be low self-esteem, self-sabotage, fear of failure. And this is the one that causes so many people to stumble. And that is the less than obvious fear of success. Yes, we can want to be successful while at the same time be afraid of succeeding. And that's something that we might need to even address in its own episode because it's so deep. And after I worked through a lot of my lower level self-limiting beliefs, that was that one that was most hardest for me to conquer because it didn't make sense. I mean, it was a paradox. Like everything in me wanted me to live up to my highest potential. I'm one of those people that I know I was gifted. I know I was destined for more, but for some reason I just couldn't get there. Or when I got close to there, whatever there was for that season or that moment in my life, I would do something to sabotage myself out of achieving that goal. And it wasn't until I got a lot of time spent journaling where I was able to figure out, what was true, what wasn't true. Is this something that I really believed, or was it something that, a caretaker or an adult in my life during my formative years that, they implanted this thought into my mind? And I realized that I was truly afraid of succeeding. I mean, when we talk about achieving success, there's a lot of responsibility that comes into that. It comes into play, especially when we get to the place where we might be an entrepreneur. We're running our own company. We have employees. That's a lot of people to be responsible for. And we may not believe we can do it. But when we connect with others, other like-minded people, other people that have a goal to be that success story, when we come together, it's this synergistic effect that happens. And we start to encourage one another. We start to grow. We overcome all these things that we believed about ourselves that weren't even true. And that it kind of acts like an invisible bungee cord that kind of keeps us at base level when we're meant to soar. So that is one of the things I do want us to spend more time on. And also hopefully getting some feedback from you, from the audience, from the community. What are some of those areas maybe that I haven't addressed that you're struggling with? Go ahead and put that in the comments. Reach out to me. And I have my other contact information that'll also be in the description for this episode, so that we can get to know one another better, and that we can help each other to be who we were created to be and to live with purpose. And the last area I want to address today in this message is to evaluate who you've allowed into your inner circle. And your inner circle is your sacred space. That is that place where you go to find your peace. It is a comforting space. It is the space where you go to find support, where you can process your emotions, and where you can be free to be yourself. And in that freedom, releasing your vulnerability. Because it's in that space where your creativity is released and you're empowered to be all that you can be. So I once heard someone say, "Show me who you hang around and I'll tell you who you are." So the people that we spend the most time with directly affect our energy, our mood, our creativity, and even our outlook on life. So ask yourself, when you're in the presence of someone, get into the habit of asking this question: how do I feel when I am in the presence of fill in the blank? And whatever emotions come up, that becomes a clue on what you need to do. So is this person making me feel joy? Is this person making me feel encouraged? Or is this person pulling me down? Do I feel depleted at the end of these interactions with this individual? And if so, then you know what? Maybe we need to rethink some things. Maybe this person at this stage in their life, or at this stage in my life, maybe they are not suited for my sacred space. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean, we're throwing them away or we're cutting them off. It just means they don't need to have intimate access to me at this time. So we might need to move them out into the fringes. I remember taking a class in reality therapy for choice theory specifically, and it teaches you about loving people from across the street. Not everybody needs to be in your space, and definitely not in your face, especially when you're in your inner healing phase, which is basically what personal development is all about. It's a time of inner healing, and it is a vulnerable time for you. So it's during these moments that you really kind of need to set those firm boundaries where we may not have established boundaries, and we've allowed people to come in and bring their toxicity into our space. So now we need to be proactive about protecting that sacred space. Your success depends on it. So how do you do this? Well, one, you start by surrounding yourself with positive energy in the people, in the places, and in the things. So this is what I leave you with today. And in our next meeting, I'll go into further detail explaining how these barriers prevent your upward mobility. So if you found value in this message, please like, comment, and if you're hearing this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. And if you're hearing this on the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. Until next time, come journey with me.